And so while I was there, I wore my red cape. It was said that the soldiers began to look about for Lady Washington in her red cape. I knitted and sewed, provided what medicines I had, and any comfort that I could. The soldiers' plight was pathetic. They were hungry. They were cold. They did not have adequate supplies. The Continental Congress was never able to raise the funds necessary to maintain the war. I sent a letter to the wives of all the colonial governors asking them to please raise money, knit, collect supplies, do whatever they could. Another replied, I saw your hero, I saw your hero, George. I saw him on the plain with his sword drawn in his hand, protecting his man in the charge. My daughter-in-law, Nellie, had remarried, and so she agreed to let us adopt the two youngest grandchildren, Nellie and Washington, or Washi as we called them. I also had Fanny, my sister's daughter, to care for. I have always loved to be surrounded by children and family and friends, and to have a full house. Those were happy years at Mount Vernon. There was a constant stream of friends and family and wartime acquaintances visiting Mount Vernon. I would have gladly, the General and I both would have gladly lived out our time there. He wrote to our friend Robert Morris, and he said, I wrote it down, my first remaining wish is to glide gently down the stream of life in tranquil retirement. But our peace did not last long. But it was somebody else's turn to take on this mantle of responsibility. But so many said and felt that if my husband did not take on this role, the new republic might fail before it had barely begun. And he felt that it was his duty, and he took it upon himself to do it. And after a time, I determined that I would accept our fate with good grace. My mother has always said that one should be cheerful as a cricket, busy as a bee, and steady as a clock to be happy. And I determined that I would be happy with our fate and would make the best of it. All of the arguing and disagreement, well, it has become more and more severe over time. And increasingly, my husband is the target. Mr. Jefferson, why, he pretends to be neutral. I know his tricks. He pretends to be neutral, and all the time he plots behind my husband's back. And increasingly, the president is open to personal attacks against him. Where is the respect and the reverence that is due this man who has given so much to his country? The respect and reverence that at one time the country, and to a man and woman of this country, gave him. Like lions how ye growl and threat, mere asses have ye shown, and ye shall share an ass's fate and drudge for Washington. Great heaven, is this the nation whose thundering arms were hurled through Europe, Africa, India, whose navy ruled the world? As to myself, I am very aware of the precedent that I am setting in this new role as the consort of the president. I do all in my power to make every citizen who comes through our door, from the mightiest to the lowliest, to feel welcome, to feel part of the republic, to reflect back the light and integrity onto my husband that he so deserves. And if I am successful, I hope that someday it may be said of me that I was the worthy partner of the worthiest of men. Thank you.